Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to Model Kit Monday. Today we'll be taking a look at the high-grade Universal Century Mobile Suit Gundam RX-77-2 Guncannon Revive. This is the first of the Revive series of Gunpla, where they take an older kit that may not have been as good and revive it with new joints, articulation, and styling. For example, Guncannon here was released back in 2000 as a high-grade Universal Century kit, so he definitely needed an upgrade. And now, with the modern standard of polycaps and joints, he is here. So, this kit does retail for about 1,300 yen, which is approximately $10, which is really inexpensive compared to some modern kits. But he is a small kit, doesn't have too many accessories, but it is really cool that he is basically the same cost as the original. He is the 190th high-grade Universal Century release, so he does have a new number. He's not just the same as the original Guncannon, but it is a revived version, as you can see by the 35th anniversary logo here. So without further ado, let's take a look at Guncannon. Here is Guncannon. Now, building this guy was actually surprisingly complicated. He had a lot of more intricate parts that I wasn't expecting, considering he is a smaller kit that's a remake of an older HGUC. So it was really surprising to see that things like the leg assembly had a lot more parts to it, and this really adds to the whole it's a revive, we're going to make it with modern engineering and more parts, which is really fun to build. And I honestly wouldn't mind buying a couple more of these and build them, because it's a really fun kit to build. As you can see, Guncannon here is in his primary red, but you can notice I did do a little bit of customizing here. Now, this is something I've been getting into recently, is panel lining and decals to give my Gunpla a little bit more unique of a look. This is my first attempt at it. You can see that I have done some paint over some marks. I have added some panel lining here, unless my camera completely throws off its white balance. And I did add the decals. Now, it does include stickers for 108, 109, and 223, I believe. And that allows you to have all the different versions of Guncannon with their serial numbers. So I added those, plus I did get some promotional decals for EFSF, so I did add those there. I also did add on the side here some tiny red arrows you can barely see. But I did add those to kind of give them a different look. Those are completely optional. You don't have to. The 3 on his back and shoulders aren't even included. So those are a separate thing that I picked up from the promotional campaign. Other than that, what I really liked about Guncannon was the way they did his head. Now, it could have been a simple sticker for the eye visor, but it actually is a piece of clear plastic. It gives it such a good look. Because he does have this visor look, he doesn't have to have eyes underneath. I just love the way that looks with the clear plastic on top of the white plastic. It gives him a great look overall. Of course, the cannons for Guncannon look really good. And overall, the proportions just look better and match the animation model and mechanical design a lot better than the original did. Now, of course, the other positive with the Revive line is the articulation. So looking at his neck here, he does have a really cool neck system to where if you have him looking up, if you don't go too far, it actually stays consistent. He has 2 neck joints, one at the top and one at the bottom. The top is a polycap ball joint, so he does have full range of movement there. But this neck joint is really cool because it does tip back, and this tip back motion allows for a clean look for one of his classic poses, which is really nice. The cannons here do move up and down like this. They actually go all the way up, all the way forward. You got nice ball joints here with a forward swing that works really well. You got outward shoulder movement, which is super clean. I love how clean this is, where you don't even see where the joint is at all. You have a bicep swivel here, you got double jointed elbow here, and then you have a ball jointed wrist that can be pulled out slightly without being removed if you want to have a little bit more of a hinge on it. Now, his torso does have a left and right waist swivel, not a 360, but you do also get, if you don't pull it forward, you do get this slight joint here, and this helps with posing, but he does have an additional back arc to him. The hips as well are the modern hips, so they do have full range here. Thigh swivel and double joint knee. He does have a ball jointed ankle with an extra forward tilt, which is really handy for poses where he's like walking. So that's really cool. You also, of course, have the skirt armor moves out of the way. in all directions, which is pretty nice. And these even rotate, which is quite helpful. So overall, his articulation is fantastic. But what can you do with this articulation besides punch things at the moment? Well, that's why we have his weapon. Here is Guncannon's beam rifle. Now, this is a experimental rifle that has a really long name that I've put up on the bottom of the screen because remembering that from even the computer to here is tricky. But as you can see, it is really nice. It is his classic sidearm weapon. The amount of parts for this was surprising, as it is quite complicated, with every little bit having some kind of part placement to it. Even that yellow is placed in with plastic and not a sticker, which is really, really nice. And overall, it does look good and is a nice sidearm in addition to his big cannons, which of course you can recreate his classic firing pose. They give you two open hands here. It doesn't work too well. I feel like some additional length on the arms kind of helps, but it does not get him into it's not a very natural pose to begin with, but it is a little tricky. But that added joint in the neck allows him to look up and fire the cannons, which is really cool overall. Just hard to photograph because his cannons keep getting in his head. But as you can see, it does pull off the classic firing pose quite well, and you can see you can tweak it a little bit to get it to work even better. The added joints really make this possible, and it's really, really nice as an inclusion. Other than that, that's all that Guncannon comes with. So overall, Guncannon is a fantastic Gunpla, especially for his price. He is less expensive than most Gunpla out there, and he does a whole lot for his cost, which is really, really cool. I like when Bandai does manage to budget things out like this. He's really great. He doesn't use any stickers, which is quite fantastic. And overall, I'm quite impressed with the way that he was done. And I'm really looking forward to the RX-77-2 Revive that was just released in Japan. And overall, if I'm going to recommend this guy or not, I'd say definitely yes. If you like building Gunpla, you'll enjoy Guncannon. He's a fun build, and he's a great little figure. Plus, he's got a lot of room to customize with being very basic colors. You can also mix and match decals and panel lining, and maybe even give him a different paint job. Overall, I really do like Revive Guncannon. I'd highly recommend him to everyone out there. Plus, he does make a nice pairing with the original high-grade Universal Century gun tank. Now, if only RX-78-2 Gundam was here. Maybe by next week. Anyways, that is all for this week on Model Kit Monday. Stay tuned for more reviews here on Soundout 12, where we have Model Kit Monday on Mondays, Soundout's Toy Chest, the Mystery Review series, on Thursdays, and my normal reviews, the Soundout Review, on Saturday. Also, be sure to check out HeroTaku.com for all of your Gundam news and more. And until next time, Soundout saying goodbye.